Welcome to this meeting of the Board of Education of Anne Arundel County. This meeting is being televised live on AACPS TV and streamed on AACPS's YouTube channel. General information and protocols for the meeting are posted on the sign by the doorway as you enter the room, so please make sure you read those if you have not already done so. At this time, we'll have our invocation. O God, we pray to administer that which is just in all educational policies, being ever mindful of your guidance. Stir us to action with love, wisdom, and understanding. And now our Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now we're moving on to item 2.03, the approval of our minutes. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have consensus? And we do. Item 2.04, establishment of our agenda order. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to establish the agenda order.
Second.
Okay, do we have consensus? And we do. So we're moving on to item 2.05, our Educator of the Month.
Good morning. The foundation of everything our December Educator of the Month does is rooted in positive relationships. Anyone who walks into her classroom will see this immediately. She assists students both academically and in the social emotional realm. Miss Megan Heil, third grade teacher at Folger Mackenzie Elementary School. There you are. Hi there. Ms. Heil serves as a student mentor for students who are experiencing behavior challenges. The positive impact she has on these students is immeasurable. She differentiates instruction and utilizes the HOOT behaviors, which stands for honor, other people matter, owning it, and taking action. These cornerstones are the core values at Folger Mackenzie and can be seen in action in her classroom. Megan is always polite, professional, and open to addressing tasks that need completing. She actively participates in all school committees and is constantly working on her craft through professional development. She communicates well with the administration and the office team and utilizes these qualities to assist families. Her ability to plan for her students is incredible and works to meet the needs of her students at an elevated level. Folger Mackenzie Elementary School is grateful to have Ms. Heil as a team member. For these reasons and so many more, the Board of Education is honored to recognize you, Ms. Megan Heil, as Educator of the Month for December 2024. Congratulations. Would you please come forward to accept this recognition?
Thank you. Congratulations. That was exciting. Thank you. Yeah, so I have obviously this plaque and the write-up I just read and this
certificate for you. I'll take a quick picture here. Yes. So what lie did they tell you to get you here today?
Oh, there was a meeting. There was a meeting. I was like, why am I going to this meeting? But
Yeah.
and then I was like, I should have dressed up more. But
Yeah. And who do you have with you today?
my mom, my aunt, my dad.
Oh,
So.
lovely.
Okay, we're going to move on to item 2.06, our Employee of the Month.
In this day and age, not only are audiovisual devices desirable and engaging, but imperative for modern day instructional delivery and professional use. From students to board members, we depend on technology, so it must be kept current and operational. It is intensely relied upon daily. Support technicians know well the panic that ensues when a projector fails, a device breaks, or is missing. Document cameras will not toggle between PC and document cameras. The list goes on. Support technicians are the resident school EMTs and can assist in most cases. However, there are instances where the problem must be escalated to the audiovisual department. And that is why we are here today. No, not because there's a problem, but rather a solution. Our December Employee of the Month recognition goes to a newer member of the AV team, Mr. Liam Kelly. Liam is always... I know. Liam is always on top of things technically and professionally. He has been the most impactful and impressive AV technician. He is attentive to issues, responsive to emails, and initiative-taking to a school's future needs or upgrades. Mr. Kelly is personable and has a willingness to listen and field questions. His expertise and ability to identify and fix problems is astounding. He has been integral in accommodation equipment for superintendent visits and provides impromptu needs when called upon. He not only has solutions on hand, but he also thinks of alternatives. Thank you, Liam Kelly, for all that you do. You are an unsung hero, truly. The man working hard behind the scenes getting the job done. The Board of Education congratulates you on being the December Employee of the Month. Would you please come forward to accept your award? Congratulations. Here I have the kind words that people wrote about you. And you can write here. I have this incredible plaque for you and your certificate.
Thank you.
So, how did they get you to come here today?
I had to make a presentation.
And who have you brought with you? Or who has come to support you?
My mom, my dad, my brother.
Your certificate and the lovely comments written about you. I'm taking pictures right after, but congratulations.
Just a second, Dr. Bedell.
Yeah, so I know you have family here. I just have a quick question for you all. Are you all Buffalo Bill fans too? Hey, Bills Mafia, go Bills. All right. All right.
I can't be more grateful to see someone so deserving to get this award. I put it in months and months and months, I think a year ago, and I thought, they're not gonna know. I don't know how you all decide, but thank you for finally recognizing AV as a whole, because they are critical. We can't do our jobs, me being a support technician, cannot be without them. There's no doubt that technology is evolving in an ever-increasing pace, and with many types and devices distributed around the county, more models being discontinued, models being added, it's a wonder anyone can keep up with the workings and the maintenance. Consequently, our AV has enormous responsibilities and operates as effectively as possible with a very limited staff. I've been blessed to have Liam as my area AV tech. He's no less than phenomenal. I can always count on him for input and solutions. Came across this little book, very appropriately titled, Liam the Superhero. This little book crossed my path just accidentally, but says it all. Liam is a hero in high demand troubleshooting any and all audiovisual issues across multiple schools. He consistently responds to the needs of our school with patience and skill. No small feat by any means. It has been a long time since he was nominated for Employee of the Month, though it could have been Employee of Decades. I'm so, it test 2018 when this. I'm so grateful that he's finally being recognized. Pulling a page from the book, I present Liam with a token of appreciation. This is the page out of the book that says, he's caring and he's helpful, always doing awesome deeds. Yes, Super Liam is the hero that everybody needs.
All right.
Thank you. Once again, thank you. And now we're going to move on to item 2.07, our volunteer of the month.
Thank you, Mr. President. According to Jack Canfield, when you scratch the surface, every one of us has something we want to contribute. All we have to do is step up and do it. This month's Volunteer of the Month steps up in uncountable ways to contribute to our Hillsmere School community. It is an immense honor to recognize Billy Dean as our December 2024 Volunteer of the Month, a distinction that barely scratches the surface of all he does for Hillsmere Elementary. To list the things Mr. Dean doesn't do for Hillsmere Elementary would honestly be quicker than recounting everything he contributes. His commitment, enthusiasm, and dedication to our students and staff make him a cornerstone of our school community. Whether he's assisting with PTA projects such as the monumental task of cleaning out the portable building in preparation for our new school, moving harvest for the Hungry Boxes, or supporting events like the Holiday Bazaar and Glow Dance, Mr. Dean is always the first to lend a hand and the last to leave. Mr. Dean's impact isn't limited to events. Every day, without being asked, he takes on critical responsibilities that keep our school running smoothly. At dismissal, he sets out cones and ensures buses are ready and personally sees that students are safe as they head home. He greets students by name and leaves them with a smile, creating a moment of connection they carry with them. In the cafeteria, Mr. Dean brings fun and positivity to lunchtime. With his daily trivia questions and PBIS incentives, he's transformed the cafeteria into a hub of learning and celebration. And let's not forget Friday music, where students and Mr. Dean sing and clap along to their favorite songs, a moment of joy that students look forward to every week. When we introduced a mobile school store as part of our PBIS initiative, Mr. Dean was, of course, the first person who came to mind. Not only did he embrace this new role, he also recruited and trained other volunteers, secured donations, and made the store a smashing success. Extra recess time with Mr. Dean has become the most sought-after reward, a testament to the relationships he builds with our students. Mr. Dean is more than a volunteer. He is a role model, a friend, and a cherished member of our Hillsmere family. Mr. Dean, Hillsmere Elementary, and the entire Anne Arundel County Public Schools community is blessed to have such a dedicated volunteer, and we thank you for your service. Would you please come forward? It is with great appreciation that I would like to present this to you. So, you now have a way to get hold of anybody in school. These are the nice words that they wrote about you, and this is your certificate. So let's take a couple of pictures. So, how did they get you here?
They told me we were coming to talk about the card.
Oh, to talk about the card. Well, who
We
else?
did, but-
We did. So who else is here with you?
Secretary from the school, Mrs. Phelps. I've known her for years. My daughter, or granddaughter, and my son. And then I have Miss Queen, used to be the assistant principal,
Mm-hmm.
and of course the principal, Mrs. Griffin.
Yes. So I want to add, we're going to be talking about this later. The news just came out yesterday that Hillsmere is now a 5-star school on the report card. And I'm sure part of what you do has helped that happen. And so I'm sure many thanks are owed to you. Is there anything you would like to say before you?
Thank you.
All right, here you go, and congratulations.
So I believe at this time we're going to take a brief break for some photographs. We'll be back soon. Okay, welcome back. We're moving on to item 4.01, the President's Report. And so I do have a few things to report to everyone. On Monday, December the 2nd, this board was sworn in here in the boardroom as members of the Anne Arundel County Public School Board of Education. So congratulations to our returning members, Ms. Shalhan, Ms. Dent, Dr. Tobin. Welcome to Ms. McFarland, Ms. Bullerman, Ms. McDermott. And of course, welcome to our student board member, Hafsa. We're absolutely excited to have her with us, of course, and we're excited as we move forward. And on the Friday, November 22nd, just before the Thanksgiving break, I had the honor to attend a ceremony at Lothian Elementary School for one of our longest serving employees. His name is Mr. Lewis Watkins. Mr. Watkins is the chief custodian at Lothian and has been at Lothian for 51 years. Hey, I only made 49. 51 years. As you can see, this is a tall gentleman, and he is quite impressive. The school honored him by naming the cafeteria and gym after him. This soft-spoken man is truly a legend in South County. The ceremony was touching, and our video team was on hand to capture it. So I think we're ready to see that. Take a look.
We're here today to dedicate our gymnasium and cafeteria to Mr. Watkins for his 51 years of service to Lothian and Anne Arundel County. And we're just so happy that his family and friends could be here to celebrate with us.
It means the world to us. It means the world to the family. Just the years of service that Dad has provided to the Anne Arundel County Public Schools is outstanding. This means the world to us.
I just love working with children and the staff as well. Everyone just love it.
So, for your information, Mr. Watkins' son is a member of our technology team, and I am glad that this family will continue to have a positive impact on our students. So congratulations, Mr. Lewis Watkins and the entire Watkins family. That's a great story, folks. On November 21st, Thursday, I had the honor and the opportunity to meet with the Annapolis City Council for a presentation. Dr. Tobin and Dr. Bedell were there, and they presented to the Annapolis City Council regarding the state of education in AACPS. And I'm sure, Dr. Bedell, you may elaborate a little bit in your report. And finally, this morning, I had the privilege to meet with the Scholarship for Scholars under the direction of the Executive Director, Pam Van Diver. They have provided fantastic amounts of scholarship monies for so many of our students. Their board of directors, they meet here quarterly in the building here, and I am privileged to be able to meet with them as well. I would like to thank them for everything that they have done and will continue to do to provide scholarships for our students. And Just for your information, Scholarships for Scholars is a nonprofit organization that awards scholarships to top performing high school seniors who reside in Anne Arundel County. Dr. Edward Anderson, a former superintendent of AACPS from 1968 and 1984, he was made aware that the governor of Massachusetts was raising and distributing $1 million in scholarship money, and he worked to establish a similar program here in Anne Arundel County. And so in 1984, Dr. Anderson's vision became reality, and Scholarships for Scholars was in fact formed, managed by a board of trustees who are leading members of the local community. And for them, I will suggest all students are out there. Deadline for applications, February 4th. Applications for our guidance counselors have to be uploaded by February the 11th. And the award ceremony this year will be held on April 30th, and it will be held at St. John's College. So once again, thank you so much to the Scholarships for Scholars. I can't tell you how grateful I am for the immense amount of scholarships that they provide for our students. So that does conclude the president's report. We'll move on to item 4.02, the superintendent's report. Dr. Bedell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Before I get into my report, I do want to extend a welcome to this new configuration of a school board. Publicly, this is, I guess, in my career, my 5th iteration of a school board, and one that I am very excited to work with. Ms. McFarland, Ms. McDermott, and Ms. Pulliam, welcome to this team. I've been blessed to already have had an opportunity to work with Board Member Dent, President Silkworth, Dr. Tobin, and our wonderful student board member, Ms. Hamdawi. Did I get it right? Yes. All right, I got, and then Miss Schalheim, I'm sorry. I've had an opportunity to work with all of those individuals over the first 2 years of my tenure, and it has been wonderful. We've made a lot of movement in this school district, and we're looking forward to being able to really accelerate with the addition of you all. So thank you all for making this sacrifice, because it is a sacrifice. Trust me on that one. It's work. So thank you all. All right. So I want to start by recognizing that this is Inclusive Schools Week, a time set aside to celebrate the work that schools are doing to provide a supportive and quality education to a student population that is increasingly diverse in so many ways. While inclusivity is very important, we cannot stop there. It's one thing to include someone. It is another thing entirely to help every student feel like they truly belong. Our work must reach past inclusion to belonging. This gets to the essence of our strategic plan and to the mindset that is at the heart of it. I want to remind everyone of the 16-word vision in our strategic plan. Anne Arundel County Public Schools is a school community where everyone can belong, grow, and succeed. I see evidence of exactly that in my visits to schools every week, and I appreciate the work that is taking place. Next, I have some really good news for our school system. The results of the Maryland report card released yesterday, it revealed that 16 of our comprehensive schools increased their star ratings, and 62 of our schools are now 4 or 5-star schools. The number of schools receiving 3 stars or higher is now 108, up from 103 last year. That's more than 92% of our schools at 3 stars or higher, almost 10 points above state average. We have 11 5-star schools, up from 9 last year. I also think it's important to point out the schools that gained another star, and you see them listed on this screen. I also want to especially highlight Hilltop Elementary, which is the only county school to gain 2 stars. That is significant. 8 of the 16 schools you see here are community schools, which receive additional targeted funding under the Blueprint for Maryland's Future. I continue to be very impressed with the work going on in our community schools program. It is clear our teams are utilizing the additional funding for these schools in the right ways. I'm really proud of this work and of everyone on our team that is doing this hard work on a daily basis. It is also important to note 15 of 19 schools moved within their tier, moving them closer to the next star level. And these are community schools. So although they did not move a star up, many of these schools are now approaching the next star. So the goal is to constantly build so that those schools now are moving from 3s to 4s, 4s to 5s. And so we're very proud of that work. Moving on. One of the factors in the star ratings is attendance. It is an area on which we are focusing fiercely, as you can see by the ferocious tigers at Tracy's Elementary School on the screen. All of our schools are competing in the AACPS Attendance Challenge this December to see who can have the highest attendance. I am certainly encouraging all of our students to attend school every day in December, and I hope everyone will join me to do the same because our students can achieve if they don't attend. We will play a video here. This December, Anne Arundel County Public Schools invites everyone to join our attendance challenge.
Together, we belong. Each day, our classes are filled with energy, friendship, and the excitement of learning. Together, we grow. When we're here, we learn, inspire each other, and build a brighter future.
Together, we succeed. Every day in class builds momentum, and every day in class, you're closer to your goals.
Together we belong.
Together, we grow.
Together we succeed.
Hey, bro. See you every day this December. Let's finish this year strong together.
AACPS December 2024 Attendance Challenge. Hashtag AACPS Attend to Achieve. All right. Just before the break, you heard Mr. President speak to this earlier. I was pleased to be joined by Mr. Silkworth, Dr. Tobin, Christina Catalano, our Chief Academic Officer, and members of our cabinet to provide an update about our work to Annapolis Mayor Gavin Buckley and the Annapolis City Council. These are critical partners and advocates for us as we move forward in this work, and I am really happy that we have been able to enhance this relationship over the last couple of years. I want to thank the two of you, Ms. Dr. Tobin and Ms. Catalano, for us being there, but also addressing the number of questions that came from the city council members. But we look forward to being able to do this same update with the county council in the very near future, and with a number of our different advocacy community groups to keep people apprised of what's happening in the school district. Next, I want to remind everyone that our team has been hard at work to finalize our recommended fiscal year 2026 budget recommendation, which I will provide to this board 2 weeks from today. As I have said before, we will have to make some difficult decisions in this recommendation, especially given the state's most recent shortfall projections. I believe close to $3 billion, if I'm not wrong, Mr. Stansky. However, I believe we will present a plan that continues to move this district forward for our students, our employees, and our community. It will be a plan that I hope our bargaining units, this board, and ultimately our entire community can support as it moves forward to the county executive and county council. The board will conduct 2 public hearings on my recommendation in January before approving its formal request in February. So everyone will have a chance to have their voices heard. Next, I want to talk about our vacancies, just a continuous update on where we are as a staff, and just, again, the continuing of recruiting, but also trying to make sure that we can retain people so we continue to get out and do what we need to do. And fortunately, I had a chance to meet a superintendent in New York City yesterday. I serve on the College Board Superintendent's Advisory Board. And this apparently she has figured out how to almost fully staff her school district. She'll be giving us some information potentially on some international teacher opportunities. I don't know, and especially as we think about potential future dual language schools, might be a great connection. So we constantly talk about these things, not just here, but we talk about these things nationally. So that's our update there. And then finally, I want to mention that we have one more fall athletic team that is still alive for a state championship. Arundel High School will play for the Class 3A state football title against Linganore at 7 p.m. on Saturday night at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium in Annapolis. None of our county teams have won a football championship since 2011. Arundel last won a state football championship in 1975, but they made it to the championship game before losing 2 years ago. That's also when they were depleted. They were down to like running backs having to play quarterback because all of their quarterbacks got hurt. Yeah, it was my first year here, I remember. I've seen them play this year, and they are absolutely equipped to win this game. I'll be there on Saturday to cheer on the Wildcats and hope to see a lot of you there as well. Mr. President, that concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Dr. Bedell. Ms. Schauheim.
Yes, I noticed that a great dent was made with regard to the crossing guards. Can you speak to that at all? I know this, for the board's benefit, the crossing guards are not in our budget. It's under the police department's budget, but it's been sort of stagnant, stuck at this number for quite some time until very recently. And so this is great progress.
So for the record, Bob Moser, Chief Communications Officer. I can't speak to exactly what's happening in the police department, but I got that number of 10 about a half an hour before this meeting started. And they have a number of interviews set up over the next week. So they've really been working hard over there to decrease that number.
Well, that's really great. And quite frankly, a long time in coming, because we all know that intersections and crossings that are not covered by a crossing guard leaves a huge safety issue for our students. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Schauheim, for bringing that up, because you're absolutely right. It has been pretty stagnant for a while. I know in my conversations with the police chief, they told me that they've had a number of people that were in training. And so I've been waiting on this movement too. So thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you, Ms. Schauheim. So I also would like to say, go Wildcats. You know, it is a rare experience in a high school. Most high schools do not win state titles in football. I've been around a while, and North County won 1994. It is an amazing experience. So our best wishes to Arundel, and hopefully they will be beating Linganore. But guess what? Whatever the result is, they're there.
Well, listen, I rarely get to wear individual school color because normally I have to come neutral because we're playing each other. I will be green, black, and white out on Saturday night. Trust me.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to be moving on to our consent items 5.01, 5.05. Do I hear a motion to bundle?
Motion to bundle consent item for water contract 5.1 to 5.04.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Do we have consensus? We do. Dr. Bedell.
Thank you, Mr. President. The superintendent recommends that the Board of Education authorize the award of contracts on consent items numbered 5.01 through 5.04.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Ms. Howe?
Ms. Dent?
Aye.
Ms. Hamdawi?
Aye.
Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Dr. Tobin?
Aye.
Ms. McDermott?
Aye.
Ms. Pulliam?
Aye.
Ms. Schauheim?
Aye.
Mr. Silkworth?
Aye.
Motion passes 8-0.
Okay, thank you. We're now moving on to item 6.01, the election of our board officers. It's at this meeting that by policy that we elect a board president and a board vice president. We will be dealing or electing the president at first, so I'm going to open up the floor for any motions. Dr. Tobin.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. It is my pleasure and my privilege to nominate you, Mr. Silkworth, to remain for another year as president of this board. I think those of us who are returning members of the board know that you have served honorably and fairly and overseen at times some contentious issues and brought the stability and the fairness that is necessary in those moments. And I think as we transition into a year with a new board, it would be wonderful if you would be willing to accept that nomination. I would be thrilled to see you serve another year. Thank you.
Thank you. Although I don't know that we need a second for this, I believe there's no need for a second. So, but having said that, Dr. Tobin, you served for 2 years. Can you tell me how the second year was? Help me out here.
Well, I sort of finally figured out what I was doing at the beginning of the second year a little bit.
Oh.
I think you had a shorter, easier learning curve than I did. But I think Dr. Bedell's comments earlier about serving on the board were well taken, and I think it's especially so in leadership, and especially as president. It is a large commitment of time. It is a huge commitment of effort. It is not a glamorous job for those in the public. You are not running to be something like the Speaker of the House. You are running to manage meetings. But it is a critical position. And as I've said, I think you did it thus far. I was very grateful to have you serve as vice president during my 2 years as president. And I think you have been exemplary in your first year as president, and I can only imagine that you will continue to grow in that role. So thank you.
I thank you so much, Dr. Tobin. Seeing no more lights, I think we can come to a vote. Ms. Howe.
So this is a vote for president for the rest of the 24-25 school year. Ms. Dent. Of Mr. Silkworth, my apologies.
Wait.
So December.
Yes.
Robert's running first.
Isn't roll call order Ms. Dent?
I called Ms. Dent.
Oh, I thought you said Mr. Silkworth.
Yes.
We all heard Mr. Yeah. That's okay. I vote for Robert Silkworth to be a president for the second term.
Ms. Hamdawi.
Yes, I vote for Mr. Robert Silkworth.
Ms. McFarland.
I also vote for Mr. Robert Silkworth.
Dr. Tobin.
I vote for Mr. Robert Silkworth.
Ms. McDermott.
I vote for Mr. Silkworth.
Ms. Pulliam.
I vote for Mr. Robert Silkworth.
Ms. Schalheim.
Aye.
And Mr. Silkworth.
I vote aye. Thank you.
8-0, motion passes.
Thank you. So if I could take a moment, President's privilege, just to make a few comments. We are on a mission to go from good to great. That's the goal. Attainable? Yes. Easily attainable? No. So how can we as a Board of Ed assure that we will achieve our goal of going from good to great? It only is going to happen if we work together and focus together as a Board of Education on student outcomes. I've said this before, at a very minimum, 50% of our time should be spent on student outcomes. Yeah, we have contracts to approve and appointments to make, but we must set our students up to belong, grow, and succeed. So I thank you for the vote. I pledge to all of the students, parents, teachers, and staff that I will continue to do my best to lead us to greatness. I pledge to all of my colleagues my commitment to be a good listener. A good leader is a good listener and a good collaborator as we work together to make the tough decisions ahead of us. I pledge to Dr. Bedell and his marvelous staff my support, and our focus on the goals that we have. Last week, we all gathered around family tables to give thanks. I am so very thankful for my family and their support, particularly my wife, Linda. And I think we've been together 55 years. I hope I got that right, Linda. I thank all members of my Board of Education family here. I thank our county executive and our county council for their commitment to our students and our families. It is always our role to advocate for the needs of our students. And I heard about the few $1 million from the state, but I believe we should be advocating for our needs, whatever those needs are. We are not the funding source, and I will continue to do that. I thank Dr. Bedell so much for his leadership and his commitment to our goal of achieving greatness. Under his leadership, we have continued to improve, as evidenced by the data that we just saw. Are we great? Not yet. We're not there yet, but there's a lot of power in the yet. I challenge everyone to continue to stay focused on student outcomes. Let's continue to work together. Let's collaborate. Let's celebrate our strengths, and let's reconcile any differences we might have. Let's build trust. Nothing is as fast as the speed of trust. It's the one thing that changes everything. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue this journey to greatness. Our students deserve the very best that we can provide for them. I look forward to the challenges ahead. And I have to say, I was proud to serve on the board for 4 years. I am absolutely proud to serve on this board with all of you. I thank you for your trust in me. Thank you so much. Okay, we're moving on to the election of our vice president. So I am looking to see if we have any nominations. Yes.
It is my pleasure to nominate Miss Gloria Dent to serve as Vice President. Sergeant Major, we have total confidence in your leadership. Thank you.
Okay, so we have one nomination. Do we have any other nominations? Okay, seeing none. Ms. Howe?
This is a vote for Vice President of Mrs. Dent to serve as Board Vice President for the remainder of the 2024-2025 school year until the first December meeting of 2025. Ms. Dent.
I accept the nomination and I vote for myself.
Ms. Hamdowie.
I vote for Miss Gloria Dent to serve as Board Vice President.
Ms. McFarland.
I vote for Gloria Dent.
Dr. Tobin.
I vote for Gloria Dent.
Ms. McDermott.
I vote for Gloria Dent.
Ms. Pullum.
I vote for Gloria Dent.
Ms. Schalheim.
Aye.
And Mr. Silkworth.
Sergeant Major? Well, aye, absolutely.
Motion passes 8-0.
Ms. Dent?
So first of all, thank you. Let me just say that, number one, it is an honor to even be nominated, considered, but it's even a bigger honor to have been selected to serve for the next year as the Vice President of this wonderful Board of Education. I say this wholeheartedly with the new individuals that are coming on board. You are part of a group of, I call it the Elite Eight, that you will see a lot of things that you're not happy about. You'll see a lot of things that will make you tear up, like the Volunteers of the Year or the Educators of the Month. But you'll also see how open and diverse that our school systems are. And so for that, I have nothing but both resentment, because I don't want to be the new person, but at the same time, I'm envious of the fact that you all get to enjoy this for the first time. So please take it all in stride for this first year. Why is somebody calling me? Sorry. So my vision for our school is rooted into the belief that every student deserves to belong, grow, and succeed. I thought that was a fitting strategic vision. I was really honored to go around to each school and see that every school, all 126 schools, have embraced the belong, grow, and succeed mantra that we put up. But what that really does is what it means to me. It's fostering an environment where our children feel safe. I worry about that both day and night. fostering an environment where they feel valued and supported, but also where their diversity is celebrated, whether it's from a child with special needs or a child with a mental health issue. I've always wanted to put a process in place to make sure that success means something different for everyone, but success means to me for a person to individually feel that they can belong, grow, and succeed. And that is the goal for AACPS. My broader vision, though, includes the opportunity for, we talk about it all the time, equity. We talk about an opportunity to grow. And last but not least, we talk about deserving the resources. In order for us to do that, we have to have the finances. I know that everyone is on pins and needles about what the finances is going to look for this year. I can tell you I'm going to fight just as hard as I did the last 3 years. So leaders have to figure it out. They have to figure out what it's going to take, but it's not going to be at the risk of our children. And that I can tell you that I will fight tooth and nails to make sure that we have the resources that we need to do that. In closing, I promise to fight for our students, our teachers, and to make sure that the staff in this cabinet know that they are valued and that they're supported by this board. Anne Arundel County deserves a board of education that speaks and represents students here. They also deserves a board of education that know that it is a time-honored tradition that the positions that we hold here are near and dear, but that also is important in order for us to make sure that our children can grow, succeed, and belong. I look forward to working with each and every one of you, and I hope that the future, as it looks bright to me, that it looks just as bright as it does for you. We are not perfect, and we're not finished, but the decisions that we make every day will impact the stakeholders that are here in AACPS. So I look forward to working with each and every last one of you all, and it is an honor, Mr. Silkworth, to serve as your Vice President.
Thank you, Vice President Den. So at this time, we will take a brief break. Okay, welcome back. We're now moving on to item 6.01, or excuse me, 6.02, Administrative Personnel Appointments. Dr. Bedell.
Thank you, Mr. President. As discussed in executive close, the superintendent recommends that the personnel listed on the attached sheet be promoted and or appointed.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing no lights, Ms. Howe.
Oh, my order's going to be different now. I didn't change my order. Ms. Dent?
Aye.
Dr. Tobin?
Aye.
Ms. McDermott?
Aye.
Ms. Pulliam?
Aye.
Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Ms. Hamdawi?
Aye.
And Mr. Silkworth?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay, moving on to item 6.03, Personnel. Dr. Bedell.
Mr. President, the superintendent recommends that the board approve the actions as stipulated on the attached sheets.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Howe.
Ms. Dent?
Aye.
Dr. Tobin?
Aye.
Ms. McDermott?
Aye.
Ms. Pulliam?
Aye.
Ms. Hamdawi?
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Ms. Hamdawi?
Aye.
And Mr. Silkworth?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay, we're now moving on to item 6.04, Board Committees Code BBE, up for third reading. Ms. Wilson.
All right, and so as Ms. Wilson is coming up, I'll go ahead and put the recommendation out. The superintendent recommends approval of policy BBE, subject to final correction for style and format.
Good afternoon, President Silkworth, Vice President Frank, members of the board, and Dr. Bedell. For the record, I'm Grace Wilson, Senior Legislative and Policy Specialist for the district. Policy BBE, Board Committees, is before you this afternoon for third reading. The policy has been posted for an additional public comment period after amendments that were made by the board on second reading to include the board's internal audit committee. We did not receive any additional public comment during that additional public comment period. The policy is also being updated to account for the board's recent passage of Policy BL, Board Emergency Management, which requires the establishment of a Continuity of Operations Plan or COOP committee. And I'd be happy to take any questions you have on Policy BBE.
Okay, I don't see any question. Do we have a motion?
Motion to adopt policy BBE with subject to style, edit,
and formatting.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Again, any discussion? Seeing no lights, Ms. Howe.
Ms. Dent?
Aye.
Dr. Tobin?
Aye.
Ms. McDermott?
Aye.
Ms. Pulliam?
Aye.
Ms. Schallheim?
Aye.
Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Ms. Hamdawi?
Aye.
Mr. Silkworth?
Aye.
Motion passes 8-0.
Okay, we're moving on to item 6.05, School Bus Driver Qualifications Code EAG. Dr. Bedell.
Mr. President, the superintendent recommends approval of policy EAG, subject to final correction for style and format.
So moved.
As a reminder, this policy was last revised in 2012 and is being updated to account for AACPS's use of school vehicles in addition to school buses and to add appropriate legal references. And I'd be happy to take any questions you have on policy EAG.
Okay, I did hear a motion. Do I have a second? We have a motion and a second. Is any discussion? Seeing no lights, Ms. Howe.
Ms. Dent?
Aye.
Dr. Tobin?
Aye.
Ms. McDermott?
Aye.
Ms. Pulliam?
Aye.
Ms. Schallheim?
Aye.
Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Ms. Hamdawi?
Aye.
And Mr. Silkworth?
Aye.
Motion passes 8-0.
Okay, moving on to item 6.06, Parent Family Community Involvement Code KH. Dr. Bedell.
Thank you, Mr. President. The superintendent recommends approval of policy KH, subject to final correction for style and format.
Policy KH was last revised in 2004 and is being updated at the board's request to align with the National PTA's national standards for family school partnerships and to add language to the issue statement. Be happy to take any questions you have on this policy as well.
Dr. Tobin.
This is not a question. I just wanted to say that, first of all, I know this was a policy that was very near and dear to the heart of one of our recent board members, Ms. Frank. And I know she worked hard on it, but I also want to extend my thanks once again to Ms. Hamdawi's work on the policy committee, because we were a bit deadlocked, and Ms. Hamdawi really did, I think, a superb job of developing language that the entire committee felt very comfortable with, and that, in my opinion, produced an excellent document. And for the record, for those new members, this policy was voted unanimously out of committee to the full board. So thank you again, Ms. Hamdawi.
Okay, do I hear a Ms. Pullum?
I just want to pull the thread from Dr. Tobin. I watched this meeting and read the policies. I just want to thank you to Corinne Frank and the committee. It really is important, just like you mentioned, Mr. Silkworth. It's strengthening those relationships and making sure that parents understand we get it and we never forgot. It's just making sure inward you are a major stakeholder and that we're strengthening that. So thank you and looking forward to what's to come.
Okay, so do I hear a motion?
I move to approve policy KH for approval, subject to final correction for style and format.
Second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Howe?
Ms. Dent?
Aye.
Dr. Tobin?
Aye.
Ms. McDermott?
Aye.
Ms. Pulliam?
Aye.
Ms. Schallheim?
Aye.
Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Ms. Hamdawi?
Aye.
Mr. Silkworth?
Aye.
Motion passes 8-0.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson.
Mr. President, I
Vidal.
just want to say to Ms. Wilson, thank you again for all of your work. I feel like we are just a well-oiled machine when it comes to whether it's policy revision, whether it's removal of policies, or whether it is adding brand new policies. So thank you for your leadership in this work.
Okay, so if we move on to item 7.01, award of contracts, do we have any questions about that? Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we do not have any public comments on non-agenda items this evening. And so that does bring us to the end of our meeting. Before I hear the motion to adjourn, I'd like to, a few reminders. On Tuesday, December 10th at 3 p.m., we'll have a policy committee meeting, a 3 p.m. meeting, virtual. And the next meeting of this board will be on Wednesday, December the 18th. It'll be a 6:30 p.m. meeting here in the boardroom. So do I hear a motion to
Motion to adjourn.
Second? Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day.